Hey dudes, what's going on? Today, we are going to be doing a oil change on a 1965 John Deere 522. All you're going to need is just a few things. You're going to always want a toolkit because you need socket wrenches and potentially a Phillips screwdriver. You're going to want some good old oil. Today I'm going to be using Pins Oil 5W30 because it's got a high viscosity and lower temps. And you're always going to want some orange goop to keep your hands nice and dry. And never forget your good old oil pan. So firstly, what you're gonna want to do is take out the dipstick and put it in a rag or something to keep it dry and safe from any debris that could impair. So step 2 is probably one of the most crucial steps. What you're gonna want to do is grab your socket wrench. For this, I used a 5/8. Secondly, you're gonna want your oil pan. You're gonna want to make sure it's underneath where you drain out the oil, and then you typically will start turning your socket wrench. I typically do it just a few turns, just enough so it's just loose enough for what I do next, which is then I use my hand to loosen it by hand the rest of the way, just to prevent the cap from getting in the oil. And then here comes the oil. As you can see, all the oil is drained out, and you can definitely tell this oil is needing a change. It typically looks more like vegetable oil, and this looks more like molasses. Finally, you're going to want to remove the oil pan. In this case, I did also use a funnel. Next, what you're going to want to do is just tighten the nut just a bit by hand. And then after that, what you're going to want to do is use your socket wrench to tighten it. Make sure to tighten it so it's nice and snug, but don't do it too much or else you could strip and ruin it. And that's just a whole nightmare and a half to deal with. And finally, we move on to the next step, which is oil. For this, I use 3/4 of a quart. It will differ based on the engine model. If you're not sure, just check your owner's manual for the instructions. So, gotta do, make sure it's all prepped for startup for this. We gotta turn it on and everything. We always start at full throttle. Always gotta prime it. Yeah. Give it a little pull, because this is a cold start. Let's see if it'll start first pull, like it typically does. Oh yeah. Now, if you're willing to do a tune-up, follow these few steps, you'll be good to go. And as always, happy plowing.